It's 2 a.m. No nightmare, no noise. You just woke up, and somehow you already know you need the bathroom. You go, climb back into bed, and by 4, it happens again. Most people blame a weak bladder, but the real answer might have nothing to do with your bladder at all. It could involve your kidneys, your hormones, the fluid sitting in your legs, your blood sugar, or even how you're breathing while you sleep. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why your body keeps sending you to the bathroom and which explanation fits you. Doctors call this nocturia, waking up specifically to urinate one or more times during what should be a full night of sleep. An occasional trip after a late night of drinks isn't unusual, but when it happens regularly and starts wearing you down, it's worth understanding the mechanism behind it, because nocturia isn't one condition. It's a symptom, and it can come from 3 very different directions. The first is simple. Your kidneys are making too much urine overnight. Fluids close to bedtime are the obvious cause, but caffeine and alcohol both push your kidneys to release more water than you took in, and diuretic medications do the same thing on purpose. Poorly controlled blood sugar is another driver. Glucose builds up in the bloodstream, and the kidneys pull extra water out with it, which is part of why frequent urination is an early sign of diabetes. There's a less obvious cause, too. Fluid that pools in your legs during the day, especially if you sit for long stretches. Lie down at night, and gravity stops working against that fluid. It shifts back into your bloodstream, your kidneys filter it, and your bladder fills. The fix usually isn't drinking less water overall. It's shifting more of your intake earlier in the day. The second mechanism is different. Your kidneys make a normal amount of urine, but your bladder can't comfortably hold it. Overactive bladder, urinary tract infections, and bladder irritation can all make it feel full and urgent, even when it isn't. In men, an enlarged prostate can narrow the outlet and stop the bladder from fully emptying. But that's not the whole story, because nocturia is extremely common in women too, often tied to pelvic floor or hormonal changes. The theme here is capacity, not volume. The bladder sounds an alarm before it's actually full. The third mechanism is the one people rarely consider, and it might be the most important. Sometimes the bladder isn't what wakes you at all. Something else does. Stress, pain, an uncomfortable room, insomnia. And once you're awake, your brain notices the bladder and sends you to the bathroom. You didn't wake up because you had to go. You had to go because you woke up. One hidden culprit here is obstructive sleep apnea. When breathing repeatedly stops and starts overnight, pressure changes in the chest trick the heart into releasing a hormone that tells the kidneys to produce more urine. So sleep apnea doesn't just fragment sleep, it can manufacture more urine to wake up to. Loud snoring, gasping during sleep, morning headaches, dry mouth, and daytime exhaustion point in this direction. Sometimes the bladder wakes you. Other times, you wake first and then notice the bladder. So what can you actually do? Move more fluids earlier in the day, cut back on evening caffeine and alcohol, and urinate right before bed. Never adjust a prescribed medication on your own. Talk to a clinician first. One useful tool is a simple 3-day bladder diary. Track what you drink and when, how often you wake up, roughly how much urine comes out each time, and when you fall asleep and wake. That pattern often reveals whether the problem is overproduction, storage, or sleep disruption. Each leaves a different fingerprint. See a doctor if this starts suddenly, keeps getting worse, or comes with pain, burning, fever, blood in your urine, unusual thirst, unexplained weight loss, a weak urine stream, leg swelling, shortness of breath, or the snoring and gasping signs of sleep apnea. So next time you wake up at 2 a.m., ask yourself, too much urine, too little storage, Or was something else the real reason you woke up? This video is for general education and isn't a substitute for individual medical evaluation. How often do you usually wake up at night? Never, once, or more than once?